Good morning, everybody. It is December 11th, 2021. I have a message. Multiple messages. If you guys pay attention to the signs, then you are shamans, or you have been a shaman in your past life. Paying attention to the signs, it's like you're the kind of person that, say there's a house of cards in front of you, and the cards fall down, and you pay attention to what cards are facing up. And you read into them, you go, and you read those signs. It's not just looking at things to determine seeing the signs and paying attention to the outside world. It's also how you feel within. What do you feel? That's kind of a message just beside the point. I just thought it just came out of my mouth. We are in a very cool time right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go over the dimensions so you can kind of conceptualize what I'm talking about. I've always said that life is all about your perspective, your perception, how you choose to perceive the world. So there's third dimension. Third dimension is like this stuff, but there's also a mental perspective of third dimension, which it is very polarizing. It is duality. It is good and it is bad. Right? Opposites, yin and yang. It is a truth. It is true. Then we go into fourth dimension. And fourth dimension is existing at the exact same time as third dimension. And it is what you feel. It is your emotions. And my understanding of the fourth dimension is quite limited, so forgive me. Let's just say that in the third dimension, there is a status quo. Let's say someone does something wrong. According to the duality, what they did was wrong. But in the fourth dimension, you have another choice. You know, you can crucify them in the third dimension, but in the fourth dimension, you pay attention to what you feel. And you say, but I want to know what their intentions were. And you feel for their intentions. And so you realize you have two choices. Not just looking at the good and the bad, but understanding the good and the bad. Then we move into the fifth dimension. This is a dimension that exists at the same time as the truth of the third dimension and the truth of the fourth dimension. This dimension, the fifth dimension, has many choices available. But it has been described to me, and what I resonate the most with myself is it is a dimension of neutrality. It is moving beyond duality, but it allows duality to exist. Yes. That's quite an interesting concept. My brain was trying to wrap my head around the fact that duality exists in the third dimension, but when you're in the fifth dimension, it exists, but it doesn't really exist. Because each truth, as you get higher, kind of stands above the next one. It overshadows it. It's like an oversoul for it. So the fifth dimensional way of thinking, let's say this man does something wrong. In the third dimension, crucify him. In the fourth dimension, well, maybe this person was just hurt. And in the fifth dimension, I guess you would say, well, that was an interesting experience, wasn't it? Shall we go get an ice cream? I don't even think in the fifth dimension you would even refer to the past. Because in the fifth dimension, you only exist in the present moment. There is no past. There is instant karma. Like instant, what you think, what you feel, you get instantaneously. And so we don't really need to roll out crucifixions and executions and rewards, because we do that for ourselves in the fifth dimension. I do hope that made sense, and if it did not, well, good luck to you. So it's a very significant date tomorrow. The 12th of the 12th, 21. It is a portal opening, a portal of light. Now, if you folks have noticed, the last month has been very challenging. Mentally, emotionally, energetically, it feels like, for me in my experience, I don't know if you can relate, all of quite a few traumas came back up. I thought I'd dealt with them, but obviously there was still a little bit left. And so I felt that in my body, I felt it in my mental space, I felt it in my reactions, I felt it in my emotional responses. And it was a little bit confusing. I also had quite a lot of perspectives. It felt like they were all being shoved in my face, and I was deeply introspective into all of them. And as the dimensions are all truth, every single one of these perspectives were also true. However, I was struggling to understand which truth resonated with me. And as I sit here today, I realize that's the sound of letting it go. I find the easiest way to get myself into the fifth dimension. A state of ease and grace. To let go of duality. Because duality does tend to have a range of emotions that can be quite intense. We don't always have to be in that place of suffering, do we? What I do is I take a deep breath. I feel my shoulders. I feel the tension. I feel them lift. Just, you're not meant to breathe lifting your shoulders, but just, to relax. This is what I do. Breathe in, feel your shoulders, and fully let go of that tension. Use your body as a tool. And it's like, I think of all the beliefs on that inhale. I go, look at all these beliefs running around in my head. All of these ideas and perspectives, all contradicting one another. Well, the one constant is when I let them all go. And I find neutrality. There is no judgment, therefore there is no need for forgiveness. We're all just walking this life, doing our thing, healing, creating. Excuse me. Yeah. So, as we've just come out of this quite intense time of purging all the things we haven't quite dealt with, the baggage that comes up, when the baggage that comes up when people are like, why do you react like that when this happens? And you're like, it's like, hopefully you got quite a bit of understanding as to why that actually happens, or just the fact that you are aware of it happening, to the extent that now, if it comes up, you are able to take that breath in, to feel that tension, and to let it go. And you move forward in the present moment, not letting it hold you back. This is a time where we develop courage to be ourselves. That is why this is a beautiful time. This is a time where we truly feel safe and secure, and where we actually begin to develop a true sense of joy, not the happiness that comes in as fast as it, leaves as fast as it comes in. This is like an everlasting bliss. This is where we begin to cultivate a way of living that is very accepting and very unconditional in nature, and very knowing that what we think and what we feel is what we get. Therefore, that is how we create. Therefore, if we wish for the world to be bright and full and wonderful, that is what we shall get. And so there is no point in hanging on to what we perceive to be the past, for that just anchors us down into the duality, into the suffering, into the ups, the downs, the very highs and the very lows. When in fact, at this point in time, under these beautiful, divine circumstances, as you look around at this chaotic world, it is a beautiful breeding ground for people to wake up and see the truth that what they truly, truly desire from their heart. That's a fifth dimensional way of seeing this whole situation. It doesn't matter what you choose. It doesn't matter what you choose, what side you sit on, whether or not you're on the fence, pro, anti, fence sitter. None of that matters. This is simply your life, and you get to choose how you want to live it. And there is no judgment. You choose your own adventure. It is no one else's business, so to speak, as to judge you. Likewise, it is not your business to judge someone else for their decision, their chosen adventure experience. And we have a lot of control in our life. If you find yourself in a situation and you find that you don't like it, well, you must take responsibility, because somehow you put yourself there. And if it doesn't seem like you made those decisions to put yourself there, you need to go within and find out energetically how you put yourself there. Maybe you are healing a past trauma of generational extent. So take it as it comes, dear ones, and make light of it. Step lightly, they say. Isn't it wonderful? So yes, tomorrow is a glorious day. I don't recommend you do anything. You know what to do. The one tool I shall pass on is that breathing technique. Because to be honest, I've been getting so confused with all of everybody's different tools and techniques about how to go into this, portal of light, this 12:12 to 12:21, and to be honest, just like the simpler the better. I don't know if anyone goes online and looks up their tarot readings, or gets psychics to talk to their spirit guides or anything like that, but I have, and sometimes my spirit guides refuse to go into detail, and I say, why do you refuse to go into detail? I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. But the thing is, sometimes you can know too much, and you're not ready to know it. And it's frustrating at the time, but when I'm sitting here right now, I realize that I did not need to know. And I do not need to know everything, and sometimes I feel much better having a very broad knowing that everything is going to be alright, and that the path sometimes is very nice when it feels very simple and very easy, and we have to know when to, pick the battles kind of thing. When do you truly want something to be challenging, when you know a lot and you want to be very nuanced and advanced, and when is it just nice to have a very simple way of doing something? Very, very simple. Very, very, very baby step. So, I look forward to this experience we are about to embark on. I feel different already. Did you notice I cut a fringe? It's wonderful. I've been told it looks very Pulp Fiction. That's what I was going for. So, enjoy. Set yourself up for success. Do what you need to do, but keep it simple. And enjoy. Let go of what you think you know. I know it might feel dumb at first, but honestly, just let go and let nothing cross your mind if you dare. Just let go. Stop resisting. Stop fighting. That person's chewing over there. If the path of least resistance is to leave the room, then leave the room, my dear one. You don't need to hang on to that pride and that they shouldn't be chewing so loud. I'm going to go over there and tell them. Just walk away. Obviously, you're not meant to be in that room anymore. Maybe your soul is calling you somewhere else for a very special reason. Maybe there's a gift on the way. So let go and go with the path of least resistance and let go about what everything means, because we don't need to know what everything means all the time. It's much too complicated. We are quite young in this reincarnation still. So just don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright. Thank you. I am the real Mishams. Do it if you want, I don't care. I love you all. Love and light.